Today we're going to do lesson plan 14, grade 7, term 2, and the topic is fractions, decimals, and percentages. It links to worksheet 40 in the DBE book. So that's worksheet 40. And then what you have is you have the link to the caps. I'm going to scroll down, and here you have your dictionary. Again, words to help you, to help the learner, or in this case, in grade 7, our learners can already start to read through these to have a better understanding of what they're going to do during this lesson. This is also a very nice source, www.mathsisfun.com. There is excellent explanations of a variety of mathematics concepts. I want you to pause and go through this. Then with the mental mathematics, I want the learners to do the 10 questions, pause, and then after you pause, I'm going to reveal the answers. Okay, welcome back. So here you have then the answers. You can mark and you can check it, and then we can carry on with the rest of the lesson. So today we're going to look at fractions, decimals, and percentages. And I'm going to use the 1 to 100 board to explain this. So what this board represents is one whole. So what we have here is I colored in 25 squares. So it's 25 out of 100. So it's 25 hundredths. That is colored in. So we can write it as a common fraction, 25 hundredths, or when we simplify it, it's 1/4. And the decimal fraction is then 0.25. So make sure how we read a decimal fraction, 0.25 and not 0.25. In South Africa, we also use the decimal comma and not the decimal point. But very important that learners must understand that a decimal comma and a point is the same thing. So let's just go then from the top to the bottom through the fraction, the speech bubbles. So this represents 1. It is then divided into 100 equal squares. So 25 of them are colored. So it's 25 hundredths. And 25 hundredths will then be 25%. Or we can write it as 0.25. I want you to pause and then go through this. Do a few. So what will happen if I color in 55? What percentage is colored in? What is not? If 25% is colored in, what percentage is not? Let's then start with the concept development. So the concept development, we're going to look at what is 60% of 105. So in the previous lesson, we learned that of means we can multiply. So 60%, what did we learn from the top introduction activity? That 60% means 60 hundredths. So what we're going to do here then, the 60% becomes then 60 hundredths multiplied by 105 over 1. What I did then is the 60 over 100, I simplified it because I saw 20 could go in 60 and 20 could go in 100. So it's 3/5. And then what I did is I multiplied the 3 with the 105 and the 5 with the 1. And we got 315. And how many times can 5 go in 315? It goes in 63 times. So you can say that 5 goes in 300. Remember the value of that 3 is 300, is 60, and 5 goes then into 15 3 times, and that's where I get 63. So I want you to pause and then do this example. Let's then go to the next activity. So the next activity, what we're going to ask it, what percentage is 40 cents of 320? So what we're going to do is we're going to say what percentage is 40 of this. So it's the same as when you write a test. So if you got 7 out of 10, so what percentage is that? So what we're going to do is we're going to say 40 cents over 320 cents. Look how I converted the rands into cents. So it's 40 over 320 multiplied by 100 over 1. Because what we ask is we want to know what is the percentage. So what we're going to do then is we're going to say 40 times 100 is 4,000 and 320 at the bottom. So, and then we're going to simplify it. So simplified is you can on a piece of paper see what can go in 4,000, also 320. So we can see then 40 can go in both of them. You can maybe do it on a piece of paper where you do trial and error. Then we got 100 divided by 8, and that will give us 12,5. You can calculate it with a calculator, the answer, or you can work it out. Then lastly, I want you to go to this example. Use your calculator to calculate 60% of 105. So you need to use your calculator buttons to say then 60% times 105. And then the question is, why can I say 105 times 0,6 if I don't want to use the percentage button? Will it give me the same answer? So I want you to pause, do this activity, and then do this activity. Remember again, when you simplify things, you need to know your times tables very, very well. So the next step then what you're going to do is you're going to do the worksheet. Here we're going to make use of grids. You're going to write down the fractions. So 10% is then 10 hundredths. 20 will be 20 hundredths. In the simplest form, it will be 2 tens. And then what you do is you have examples here that you're going to look at. And then you're going to complete this activity. Here is similar examples of what we did in the introduction. If you struggle, all the learners struggle with the introduction activities, first come to the worksheet and do question 1, 2, and 3. So that's question 4, that's question 5 then based on the examples we've done. And then we go to the problem solving. You're going to solve the problem here. Here we got questions and activities that links then to old exam and test papers that you can do. And then lastly, we come to the consolidation. So the consolidation, if you ticked everything yes, we're going to carry on with the next lesson. If you got some no's, you need to revisit, revise certain activities, questions, or contact SA Teacher for support.